What if the greatest battle you'll ever fight is the one within yourself? Not against an enemy, not against time, but against your own impulses, your anger, your doubt, your fear, your ego. We live in a world that tells us to chase power, success, and recognition. But what if real power isn't out there at all? What if it lies in your ability to master your own mind? Welcome to Self-Control. It's Kingship and Majesty by William George Jordan, a book that has transformed lives for over a century, yet remains more relevant today than ever before. In a time of constant noise, distraction, and emotional burnout, this book offers a quiet, powerful truth. The key to peace, strength, and happiness is self-mastery. In this summary, you'll discover how to build unshakable calm, develop self-reliance, and rise above your circumstances, no matter how chaotic life becomes. You'll learn why self-control isn't about suppressing your emotions, but about ruling them like a wise king. And by the end of this journey, you'll be equipped with timeless tools to become the master of your actions, your reactions, and your destiny. So, if you've ever felt lost, frustrated, or overwhelmed by the weight of life, stay with me till the end. Because what you're about to hear might not just change your day, it might just change your entire way of living. The Kingship of Self-Control. Every human being is shaped by two creators, the divine and the self. While God provides us with life and the basic tools to survive, our bodies, our minds, our spirit, it is we who determine how that life unfolds. It is our choices, not our circumstances, that shape the people we become. We are the architects of our own destiny, and yet many live in contradiction. When they fall short, they blame God or fate, but when they succeed, they proudly call themselves self-made. This confusion leads to self-imposed limitations. But the truth is, we are far more powerful than we realize. We are not bound by the conditions we are born into. We are only bound by how we choose to think. Instead of placing limits on what you can become, you must begin to see yourself as someone filled with endless potential. Be proud of who you are today, but never let that pride stop you from reaching for who you could still become. This mindset opens the door to growth, and on that path, there will be moments when you must walk alone, face challenges, and persist when others quit. One of the greatest obstacles you'll encounter on this journey is self-doubt. It creeps in quietly, whispering that you're not good enough, not worthy of a better life. But to move forward, you must learn to silence that voice. Start by speaking to yourself with strength and belief. I am a capable human being, and life holds marvelous opportunities for me. At the heart of this transformation lies one essential quality: self-control. It is the highest form of control a person can develop, the ability to master one's impulses, reactions, and habits. Every day, you face a simple choice. Will you act like a king or live like a slave? A slave to your emotions, your environment, or your past. To live like a king is to rule over yourself with wisdom and strength. It's to acknowledge your weaknesses, but not be ruled by them. It's about learning from mistakes rather than being crushed by them. And this self-mastery isn't developed overnight. It's a discipline, a daily practice. Like training a muscle, it takes time, patience, and persistence. Begin with the small moments. Stop yourself when you're tempted to rush through a thrilling part of a story. Choose to walk when you'd rather drive. Stay calm when someone speaks to you in anger. These small acts of discipline may seem minor, but they strengthen your inner resolve. They shape the kind of person you're becoming. To grow in self-control, you must also become deeply aware of your personal weaknesses. Ask yourself honestly, what part of me needs the most discipline? Is it my temper? My need for attention? My lack of direction? The only way to grow is to confront these truths and use them as a starting point for transformation. With time, your greatest weaknesses can become your greatest strengths. This is how you remain grounded in the present. Regret will not change the past, and fear will not shape a better future. What matters is what you do now. And that choice, how you respond to the moment, is what separates a king from a slave. The crimes of the tongue. They say the gun is the second most dangerous weapon ever created. So, what's the first? According to this book, it's the human tongue. Unlike a bullet wound, the damage caused by a few sharp words often goes unseen, yet it can linger for a lifetime. Words can humiliate, discourage, and emotionally cripple a person. The tongue, when misused, becomes a tool of destruction, spreading unkindness, malice, bitterness, and gossip with ease. A single phrase can break a heart, ruin a reputation, or strip someone of their self-worth. The power of speech is something every human possesses, yet it's often used recklessly. Many will live their entire lives without facing the barrel of a gun, but almost no one escapes the cruelty of words. Insults, lies, sarcasm. These are verbal wounds we all have either inflicted or endured. But unlike physical scars, the emotional wounds caused by words often go untreated. They fester quietly, affecting how we see ourselves and how we interact with the world. Gossip and scandal are especially dangerous. They don't just hurt individuals, they corrode entire communities. And it doesn't matter whether someone starts the rumor or merely passes it along. The damage is shared. In fact, the act of spreading harmful words is like slow, invisible poisoning. It weakens trust, fuels resentment, and invites more cruelty in return. Consider this. No matter what someone does, the critic with a malicious tongue will always find something to twist. If a wealthy person donates to charity, the gossipers say, he just wants good publicity. If the same person donates anonymously, they say, he's trying to stir up curiosity so people praise him later. And if he doesn't donate at all, he's selfish and greedy. You see, to those with poisoned hearts, goodness is threatening. They can't understand virtue, so they try to drag it down with suspicion, sarcasm, and slander. They resent kindness because it reminds them of their own emptiness. So they lash out through whispers, rumors, and harsh words. These are the crimes of the tongue, and they are committed every day, not with bullets, but with conversations, texts, posts, and glances. To be aware of these crimes is to become more mindful of your words. You must ask yourself, are my words helping or harming? Am I lifting someone up or tearing them down to feel better about myself? The tongue has the power to destroy, yes, but it also has the power to heal, to comfort, and to inspire. Choose to speak with compassion. In a world full of careless words, let yours be intentional. Let them be kind. The Majesty of Calmness. Calmness is more than just a quiet moment. It's the outward expression of inner harmony. It is a strength that is rarely seen in today's world, yet deeply needed. A truly calm person isn't someone who's lucky enough to live a stress-free life. He is someone who has mastered himself in the face of stress, noise, and adversity. To be calm is to be grounded. It is a sign of self-reliance, self-control, and clarity of purpose. A calm person moves through life with quiet power. He doesn't panic when challenges arise. He doesn't react impulsively to chaos. He understands that losing control of his emotions won't solve anything. It will only make things worse. So he stays still, steady, and prepared. And when the storm passes, even if things didn't go his way, he remains content because he knows he gave his best. Calmness isn't a personality trait. It's a skill, a decision, and a practice. It begins within, and like all forms of self-mastery, it must be cultivated daily. When life begins to irritate you, when the traffic is unbearable, when someone speaks to you harshly, when your plans fall apart, pause, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and remind yourself that your peace of mind is not something to be traded for temporary frustration. You're not here to react to every little thing. You are here to live with power and purpose. To say, "I'm just not a calm person," is to surrender your control. It's to admit that your emotions rule over you, but you are stronger than that. Don't let anger, jealousy, or fear dictate your actions. Instead, take time to explore them. Ask yourself, where did this feeling come from? Why am I upset? The more you understand your emotions, the easier it becomes to let them go. Visualize your anger or anxiety as smoke rising and dissolving into the air. These emotions do not deserve to occupy your mind. They are not welcome in your inner sanctuary. Because life will not always go as planned, dreams will break, expectations will fall apart, beliefs will be challenged. But your calmness will carry you through. You will stand before your broken plans and say, "That's all right. I'll start again." And when others try to provoke you, when cruel tongues tempt you to lash out, to strike back with harsh words, remember, no good ever comes from meeting hate with hate. Instead, walk away calmly. Let those who live in bitterness argue among themselves. You don't need to carry their poison. Your calmness is your strength. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. And once you truly understand that, no one will ever be able to steal your peace again. The dignity of self-reliance. Self-confidence without self-reliance is like having a perfect recipe but no ingredients to cook with. Confidence gives you belief in your potential, but self-reliance gives you the strength to bring that potential to life. To be self-reliant means to stand firmly on your own 2 feet, to trust that no one but you can unlock the greatness within. It's the quiet, steady belief that everything you wish to become is within reach, but only if you're willing to do the work. It's saying to yourself, "My success or failure is ultimately in my hands." This kind of self-trust means taking responsibility for your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and even financial well-being. But with that power comes a warning. You can be your own strongest ally or your worst enemy. That's why it's so important to build a healthy, honest relationship with yourself. Be kind. Be disciplined. Be your own best friend. For example, imagine you dream of becoming a world-class athlete. You might own the best gym equipment, read all the right books, and watch motivational videos every day. But none of it will matter if you don't show up and put in the work. Self-reliance is not about what you have. It's about what you do with what you have. Still, being self-reliant doesn't mean rejecting help from others. If someone offers you an opportunity, take it, even if it scares you, especially if it scares you. You might fail, yes, but failure isn't the enemy. Stagnation is, and every experience, good or bad, carries lessons that move you forward. A self-reliant person keeps going, even in moments of doubt, even when no one else believes, even when no one else is watching. Whether they're cheered on or walking alone, their determination doesn't fade. Because their strength isn't based on external support, it's rooted deep within. If you want to improve, Immerse yourself in growth. Want to become a better speaker? Speak even when it's uncomfortable. Want to be powerful? Don't waste energy on envy. Instead, observe, learn. Ask yourself, what makes that person so impactful? What traits can I cultivate in myself? A self-reliant person welcomes challenges, not because they are easy, but because they reveal who you really are. She believes in her own infinite potential. Not someday, not maybe, but now. The only question is, which part of myself am I willing to develop today? Don't view others as rivals. Your only real competition is the person you were yesterday. Track your progress. Have you grown more independent? Are you more resilient? More focused? That's where your attention should be, not on comparing your path with someone else's, but on moving steadily along your own. We all walk different roads. Some are rocky, some smooth. But the strength to keep walking, that comes from within. So think for yourself. Depend on yourself. Act for yourself. Because the more you rely on your own inner power, the stronger, wiser, and freer you become. Failure as a success. Courage isn't just the ability to face fear. It's the strength to rise again after being knocked down. True courage means holding on to hope even when everything seems to be falling apart. The failures you face today may very well be the stepping stones to the success you never saw coming. Nobody enjoys failing. It feels like a loss, a setback, sometimes even a sign of weakness. But when you look at the course of human history, you'll find that failure has often been the unexpected gateway to great discoveries. The science of chemistry, for instance, was born from the countless failed experiments of ancient alchemists, men who were trying to turn lead into gold, but instead uncovered truths far more valuable. History is filled with stories of people who stumbled into success through the doorway of defeat. Their plans didn't go as intended, but the detour revealed something greater, something they never imagined. And the same truth applies to your life. No journey is perfectly smooth. There will be moments of loss, frustration, and disappointment. But it's precisely in those low points that growth begins. Failures have a way of waking us up. They show us that what we think we want isn't always what we truly need. Often, failure redirects us onto a more meaningful path, one that aligns with our deeper purpose. So ask yourself, have your setbacks taught you something? Have they revealed a better direction, a wiser approach, or a deeper version of success? Every failure contains a lesson, and in time, you may find that what once felt like a curse was actually a blessing in disguise. If you're struggling right now, hold on. Don't quit. Transformation is a process. Just like a caterpillar must first break down entirely before becoming a butterfly, or how a simple seed must disappear into the soil before it rises as wheat. Your struggle is not the end. It's part of your becoming. And when you do finally arrive at your moment of success, it will be sweeter than anything handed to you easily. Why? Because you'll know what it took to get there. You'll remember the doubts, the hard days, the nights you wanted to give up. And you'll realize that every drop of sweat, every tear shed, every ounce of effort, you earned it all. Think of the greatest sailors. They didn't earn their title by gliding through calm seas. They became great because they braved the fiercest storms, navigated treacherous waves, and refused to give up even when the sky was dark. That's what made them masters of their craft. So, be that sailor. Stand tall amidst the storm. Your failures are not the end of your story. They are simply the beginning of a greater one. Doing our best at all times. Life is vast and complex. You can fill it with endless things: possessions, relationships, art, ambition, adventure. And for centuries, the world's greatest minds have wrestled with life's toughest questions. If there is a God, why is there so much suffering? Why do innocent people face injustice? Why do the corrupt often rise while the kind are overlooked? Why does pain exist in places where only peace should live? These questions weigh heavily on the human heart. They don't come with easy answers. Some may never be fully answered at all. But instead of exhausting yourself trying to make sense of the world's chaos, turn inward. Examine your own life with honesty, clarity, and compassion. You may never understand why evil exists, but you can choose not to be a part of it. You may never solve the world's pain, but you can decide to be a source of healing, a light in the dark, a reminder to others that goodness still exists. And that begins with one simple principle: do your best. In every situation, give what you can. Do what you can. Be who you are meant to be, not out of obligation or pressure, but because the world needs people who try. Even when things go wrong, even when your efforts fall short, if you gave your best, there is no shame. There is peace. Let this be your life's philosophy: to live with intention, to give your full effort, and to find meaning in the process, not just the outcome. This is how you tap into your true potential. There is no such thing as pure luck. What we call luck is often the result of preparation, courage, and action. It's the outcome of showing up and doing the work even when no one is watching. The ones who waste time envying others never discover their own strengths. They overlook the power they hold to shape their own lives. And in doing so, they drift through life dissatisfied and defeated. But it doesn't have to be that way. It's never too late to start again, to grow, to reach for something more. When the philosopher Socrates grew old, he didn't stop learning. Instead, he started exploring music. Some of the world's greatest authors created their masterpieces later in life. Age is not a barrier. Fear is. Life never shuts the door on opportunity. We shut it ourselves, telling stories in our minds about why we can't, why we're too late, or why we're not enough. But more often than not, these are illusions, fears disguised as logic. What if the only thing standing between you and your happiness is your fear of failure? And what if, just what if, you succeed? You won't know until you try. So take the chance. Reach for the life you want. Give your all. Do your best. And then see what unfolds. The Royal Road to Happiness. Happiness. It's one of the most beautiful emotions we can feel. And yet, it often seems just out of reach. It reminds us of bright mornings, genuine laughter, and people who light up a room simply by being in it. But true happiness isn't about collecting things. It's not about wealth or success or how much you own. It's about how you live, how you think, and who you choose to be. You don't wait for happiness to arrive. You create it. You choose it. Even in sorrow, even in pain, you can still choose to look forward to tomorrow. That's what makes happiness powerful. It's not the absence of hardship, it's the courage to keep going with hope in your heart. Happiness takes many forms: gratification, satisfaction, contentment, and pleasure. But these are only shadows of true happiness. They are temporary, limited, and often tied to outside circumstances. Gratification is when you get what you want. It feels good, but it's momentary. You satisfy a craving, but it doesn't last. Satisfaction is when your desires and your reality match, but that too fades. As soon as your desires change, the satisfaction disappears. Contentment is being okay with what you have. But if contentment turns into comfort that resists change, it can make life dull and stagnant. Pleasure, while enjoyable, is fleeting. It comes and goes, leaving you wanting more. True happiness is different. It's not something you chase, it's something you become, and it begins the moment you stop living selfishly and start living with purpose. Real happiness is the natural result of living a life that is kind, compassionate, and meaningful. So, what is the royal road to happiness? According to this timeless wisdom, it is built on 4 pillars: consecration, concentration, conquest, and conscience. Consecration means dedicating your life to something greater than yourself. It's about serving others, not for recognition, but from a place of love. The happiest people are those who lift others up, who live not for money or status, but for meaning and connection. Concentration is learning to focus only on what truly matters. Let go of the distractions and the things that drain your energy, physically, mentally, or morally. A powerful image of concentration is a wounded soldier who in the middle of battle ignores his pain because he's focused on the mission. This is the kind of clarity that concentration brings. It keeps you moving forward toward your purpose. Conquest is the act of overcoming your weaknesses. It's the quiet, daily struggle to defeat your bad habits, your negative patterns, your inner battles. Some days, you'll want to give up, but those are the days you must fight the hardest. A life ruled by vices is not a happy life. True joy comes only after you've faced your darkness and chosen light. Conscience is the final guide on this journey. It's your inner compass, your voice of truth. When you learn to listen to your conscience, it will always lead you toward the path of peace and joy. But if your life is ruled by temptation, noise, and negativity, your conscience will be drowned out. That's why you must first live with dedication, focus, and self-mastery. To hear it clearly, in the end, happiness isn't just for you. It's something you give. It's found in the love you share, the lives you uplift, and the goodness you leave behind. The royal road to happiness is not paved with gold. It's paved with purpose. Live for more than yourself, and happiness will follow. Conclusion. Throughout this journey, you've discovered that living a meaningful life begins with a simple but powerful choice: adopting a king-like mindset. Your future is not shaped by luck, fate, or the opinions of others. It is shaped by you. So ask yourself honestly, are you living as a king, boldly shaping your path, or as a slave, surrendering to your circumstances? You've learned that calmness is not weakness. It's a form of strength. In a world full of noise and negativity, staying calm is an act of courage. It's a sign that you refuse to let external chaos poison your inner peace. Even if life feels heavy right now, know this: you have the power to rebuild, to start again, and reshape your dreams. You've also learned that self-confidence and self-reliance go hand in hand. Believing in your potential is only half the battle. Trusting yourself enough to act on it, that's where real transformation happens. No one else can fight your battles or climb your mountains. That's your job. So lean on yourself. Walk forward with quiet determination. And while it's natural to compare yourself to others, remember, your true competition is the person you were yesterday. Growth is personal. Progress is measured not by someone else's journey, but by how far you've come on your own. You've also come to understand that true happiness isn't a mystery. It's built on 4 essential pillars: consecration, concentration, conquest, and conscience. These aren't just lofty ideals, they're practical tools. Devote yourself to something meaningful. Focus on what matters. Overcome your weaknesses. And let your conscience be your guide. It's okay to feel lost sometimes. Life doesn't come with a clear map. But these lessons, if you take them to heart, can serve as a compass. They can guide you toward a stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled version of yourself. May this knowledge not just sit in your mind, but settle into your heart. Let it shape your decisions, your discipline, and your direction. The path to peace, strength, and joy is already within you. All you have to do now is walk it. And that brings us to the end of Self-Control. It's Kingship and Majesty by William George Jordan. If there's one truth to carry with you from this journey, it's this: your greatest power lies not in controlling the world around you, but in mastering the world within you. Calmness, self-reliance, courage, and integrity. These are not traits you're born with, but strengths you build every single day. So the question is, who will you choose to be from this moment forward? A slave to your doubts, or the king of your own destiny? If this summary inspired you, taught you something new, or simply made you reflect, share your thoughts in the comments below. What was the most valuable insight you took from this book? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you want more powerful summaries like this every single week. Your support helps us reach more people on the same path of growth and learning. Until next time, keep growing, stay grounded, and remember, the journey to mastery begins with one simple step: self-control.